So the CDC has confirmed another case of the coronavirus here in the U.S. This time it's in San Diego. The patient was on a government-chartered flight last week from Wuhan, which is the Chinese city at the center of the outbreak. CBS News correspondent Carter Evans is outside of March Air Reserve Base in California. That is where the first Americans to arrive from Wuhan are now set to be released from their quarantine. Carter, what do we know about this new case in San Diego?
Well, we know that person was mistakenly released from isolation after initially testing negative for the virus. They're back in the hospital now and said to be doing well. As for those other 195 passengers who arrived here at March Air Force Base last month, well, they're set to be released today after passing one final health check.
The confidence level from the CDC is that none of us have got it.
Ian Thompson is ready to get back home to his family in Detroit. It's been 2 weeks since he landed back in the U.S. from the epicenter of the coronavirus outbreak.
We get a document signed by the CDC tomorrow. It's part of the process of going out, and that's given to us, so it shows that we can show that to anybody, and that's we do not have the virus.
But not everyone who flew back from Wuhan was so lucky. Yesterday, the 13th case of coronavirus was confirmed in San Diego, a patient who arrived on a U.S. chartered flight last week. But President Trump remains confident the U.S. has a handle on it.
And I think it's going to all work out fine. Rough stuff, I tell you, rough stuff, but I think it's going to work out good.
Around the world, fears of transmitting the coronavirus are growing by the day. In Beijing, an eerie emptiness set in during the morning rush hour. Officials there ordered citizens coming back from the epidemic zones to quarantine themselves for at least 2 weeks. In Hong Kong, authorities evacuated a residential high-rise after 2 tenants who live on different floors contracted the virus. Thousands of others remain quarantined on military bases.
It's good to have a break. Fresh air is really fresh now.
And on cruise ships like the Diamond Princess, docked in Japan, which has been on lockdown for a week. The World Health Organization is now on the ground in China. It will assemble a team of global scientists this week in an effort to speed up the development of treatments and vaccines.
We may see numbers, like in any epidemic, go up and down in coming days. What really is important, rather than making predictions, is really to work hard to try to get solutions.
Right, Carter. So I got to say, it's mildly concerning to hear that this new case in San Diego, that the individual was initially released and then brought back into quarantine. Do we have any reaction from the White House at all about this new case?
Well, the president there seemed pretty confident that the CDC has this under control. They're now currently watching up to 70 people here, just about 70 people here in the U.S. And yes, it is concerning that that person was released from isolation. But keep in mind, they were released from isolation back into federal quarantine, so they were never exposed to anyone in the general public.
Oh, that's good to know. And so to the general public, what's been the reaction to the news of this new case from the public?
Well, it's interesting. Around here, the health department in Riverside County, this is where March Air Force Base is, they had to send out an open letter to the community yesterday telling people to stop harassing people who work on the base here. I guess a lot of people in the community have been posting messages online and actually telling people in person that they're concerned that they may have been exposed to the virus here on the base. But again, no one on this base, no one brought in from China has come down with the virus here.
Yeah, you have to give people information because that's crucial, but you also don't want to sort of become alarmist. And part of our job here is to cover this story, but we're hoping that the information will actually calm people instead of getting them kind of more wound up. In terms of the measures taken by the CDC during the screening and treatment process for the virus, what does that entail?
Well, right now they're observing people because initially, they thought that this virus could only be transmitted when a person was exhibiting symptoms. And now they think that may not be the case. They think people may be able to transmit it before exhibiting symptoms. So the key is quarantine and isolation, making sure anyone who has been to that area of the country, been to Wuhan, China, is isolated now for 14 days. That's the incubation period of this virus. And like the people here at March Air Force Base, they all appear to be okay right now, and they should be headed home later today.
All right. Fingers crossed. That is good news. Carter Evans, thank you so much.